Hi everybody, my name is Dorian Wallace and I just graduated from coding bootcamp about 3 weeks ago and it has been amazing. It's been the best experience of my life. I decided to do this video because I've received quite a few questions about why I've gone to bootcamp and what it was like, and if I feel like other people should do it, if I think it would benefit them the way it's benefited me. So I thought it'd be really cool to put together a video and share all of that information at once, see if I can maybe inspire someone the way I was inspired prior to going to boot camp. I was a cafe manager less than a year ago. I hated my job. I went to work because I knew I needed to make money, I needed to pay my bills, but that was it. I left that job and decided to Uber. So I did that for a little while I was learning to code. My thought in doing that was I'll teach myself how to code and then I could get a job in the industry that I know I'll enjoy a lot more. Well, it turned out to be a little bit more difficult than that. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there who have stories and they've taught themselves how to code and they get really awesome jobs. As a matter of fact, those are the stories that inspired me to pursue this journey. I would watch these videos, how I became a software developer in 3 months and got a job making X amount of dollars. I'd watch those videos all the time and it was so inspirational for me. It motivated me, it kept me going. I felt like, man, if these people can do it, then I know I can do it too. The only thing lacking when I watched those videos, and this is also something I hope to address with my video, is that there weren't any women of color sharing stories like this. So I'm in a position now where I feel like, I'd like to give back because these videos are so instrumental in helping me to get where I am. So if I could help just one person make the decision to go this route, then it's been worth it. All right, so back to my story. I hated being a cafe manager. I was an Uber driver. I was doing that full time while learning to code. I watched a lot of online free tutorials that teach you with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and that's kind of where I got my footing. And I realized, man, this is awesome. I can do this. So I continued to do that for a couple of months, and I met the CEO of a startup software company not far from where I lived, and he was looking for some interns. And I said, hey, this is something that I want to do. I'll work for free. I definitely had to clear that with my wife, but we were both on board with me pursuing my passion and seeing where this was going to take me. So I worked there for about 3 months, and it was awesome. While I was there, I learned so much. Every single day, I learned something new. And it kind of helped me to know that I can't thrive in this sort of environment, because it's one thing I feel it's one thing to learn how to code on your own, but it's another thing to work in an environment where that's what you're going to be doing. And it's awesome. It's the best job I've ever had. Most of my jobs up till now have been, they don't really require a lot of thinking. So I realized with this job, I was going to be able to use my brain. So like I said, I did that for 3 months. After I finished that internship, I finally found a boot camp that would take the GI Bill. I'm a veteran, and there was no way that I could go to a boot camp without using my GI Bill. I didn't have the money, I didn't have the credit, it just wasn't going to work. So when I found one, it wasn't where I lived, and lucky for me, I was able to live with some friends of mine, and this helped a lot. I'm really grateful to them, because were it not for them, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, first day of boot camp, it was my first time seeing the facility. It's my first time meeting anyone, staff, other students, and it was awesome. One thing I did notice was I was one of maybe 4 at the time. I was one of 4 other Black people in the building. And this is including staff as well as 3 other classes. Well, that didn't deter me one bit. I know that this industry is really striving to diversify itself. So that was another reason why I decided to jump into tech. I know that there's a huge need for software developers, and they're looking to be more inclusive. So they have a lot of incentives for women and minorities to jump in. So, first day, it went by really quickly. It was awesome. I learned a lot. There were a lot of people there with different backgrounds. There were people there who already knew HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Some people there even knew Java. And I thought that was crazy, because why spend money to come to a boot camp if you already have the skills that they're going to be teaching us? What I learned was that just because you have these skills doesn't necessarily mean you can get a job. So what boot camps are kind of known for, the one I went to in particular, what it's known for is getting you a job. So you learn the things that employers are looking for, and when you're done, they know that you know the things that they're looking for, and a lot of that has to do with students that have come before you that have been hired on. So they know your capabilities, and they need to fill some seats. So that's why I think, one of the reasons I think going to a boot camp is a great idea. If you're just looking to learn, like you don't know anything and you're starting from ground zero and you're looking to learn, it's a great place to start for you, but also for people who have maybe taught themselves and they're having a hard time finding a job. Or I've even spoken to someone recently who is in the industry and they're looking just to revamp because they feel like there's a lot out there that's new, these new technologies that they do not know, and they feel like it could kind of give them an edge as far as adding these new things to what they already know and maybe getting a better job. So I really can't think of a reason why one wouldn't want to go to a boot camp. Not to mention, there are people in my class also who had computer science degrees and they just couldn't get a job. So, everyone's story is different. I can't say that boot camp is for everyone. I just know that with my background, which I just shared with you, it worked out great for me and pretty much everyone in my class. So, in classes before my class. So, the boot camp was 4.5 months. We learned HTML, CSS, we learned Bootstrap, which is a framework of CSS. We learned JavaScript, we learned jQuery, we learned MySQL, we learned Java. We learned a lot in that 4.5 months. Every day from 9 to 5, we were there, and coding every single day. And I think about halfway through the course, I started to have some concerns about, about job opportunities. Like I think anyone that goes to a boot camp, you are there for one reason only, and that is to get a job. So um, I really started to maybe get a little stressed out about, oh no, what's going to happen if come graduation day I don't have a job and I've done this boot camp for nothing. Long story short, there was really no reason for me to worry about that. I had set an intention prior to going to boot camp that no matter what happened, I was going to do my best, my very best. So that meant, for me, showing up hours before class started. That meant staying late. That meant working on weekends. That meant like just putting 110% effort into everything that I did, because when this was done, I wanted to be able to say that I gave it everything. And if it didn't work out, it wasn't because of any lack on my part. So that was really important to me. So let's fast forward to interviews. So we do mock interviews, we do whiteboarding just to prepare us for when employers come and interview us. And on my second interview, I was really excited about this company in particular because they are really reputable and they take care of their people and they pay really, really well. I really wanted to do the interview over, but one of the school reps encouraged me to just, chill out, relax. He thought the interview went really well. He thought you did great. So, chill out. That was really hard to do the rest of the day, but, it's something that I had to work through because I was kind of getting in my own head about it. So I ended up getting called back in before the day was over and discussing with the HR rep, if I'd be willing to relocate and all these other things. So fast forward a couple of days later, I was one of 8 people to receive an offer letter from the company, making $90,000. So that's pretty amazing. I went into this hoping that I'd make close to $70,000. I know that graduating boot camps, it's not uncommon to make $45,000, $50,000, $55,000. That's entry level, getting your foot in the door. So to receive an offer making $90,000 before I've even graduated boot camp, it's beyond what I imagined would happen. So yeah, that's my story. I didn't have much experience going into boot camp. Went through boot camp, completed it, and got a job offer making more money salary-wise than I've ever made in my entire life. So I'd encourage anyone to do it. Yeah.